guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have another makeup tutorial for you guys. So I went with like a bronzy copper smoky eye today, of course glowing radiant skin and a glossy lip. If you guys are new to my channel, welcome, thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button on your way out as we can stay connected. You can catch my next videos. For those of you guys who did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up as that always helps out. Otherwise, if you guys want to see how I get this glowing copper smoky eye, just keep on watching. Alright guys, so I've already primed my lids and I'm going in with this matte caramel shade from the Morphe 35O palette, and I'm taking that on a big fluffy blending brush and I'm starting to dust that into my crease and socket area. And as you can see, I kind of start depositing the pigment at the outer corner, and I like to do circular motions, and then I drag whatever's left over on the brush like up into the crease and towards the inner portion of my eye. So I just keep building that color until it gets to the intensity that I want, and I just take my time with blending. And then I'm going to go in with this warm reddish brown shade, and I'm taking that on a tapered blending brush, and I'm starting to deepen up these outer corners. So I start again by depositing the pigment on the outer corner of my eye, and I like to drag it in a little bit onto the lid as well as like a little bit onto the outer corner of my lash line. And same thing, I kind of just drag the brush up into my crease and socket area with whatever's left over on the brush. So I just keep building that color. And then I like to go back in with a big fluffy blending brush just to really soften everything up and make sure everything is nicely blended. And next I'm going in with this rich chocolatey brown shade, and I'm taking that on a tapered blending brush, and I'm just using this to deepen up that outer corner. So same thing, kind of just dragging it a little bit onto the lash line, a little bit up into the crease, but I'm really keeping this color a lot lower than the previous two shades. This is just going to give you a lot more depth and dimension and really start to give you more of like that cat eye shape. And then I always like to go back in with a big fluffy blending brush after I've deposited that color, just to really make sure everything is nice and blown out and soft and just really blended. So I always go back and forth between my two brushes. And now for the star of the show, I'm going in with this Pure Cosmetics eye polish, and this is in collaboration with Mac Daddy from Instagram. But basically this is a gorgeous like bronzy gold eye polish, and I believe this is in the shade Your Majesty. So I'm just popping that onto my lid with the little applicator, and then I like to spread it around with a flat shader brush just to make sure that I get it like in the corners and really get the pigment where I want it. But it's such a stunning shimmery base. You can leave this as a base or you can add an eyeshadow on top. I think it looks stunning by itself. And now I'm going into this rich deep brown shade, and I'm taking that like on a detailer brush, and I'm really just deepening up that outer corner and kind of dragging it into that coppery shimmery shade and just blending the two together, making sure that I got a lot of definition on the outer corners. And again, going back in with the big fluffy blending brush is key. And now moving on to the lower lash line, I'm basically going to use those same colors. So I'm taking like that caramel brown shade and just dusting that onto the lower lash line using a flat or a tapered blending brush. And then I take the deeper shades more with like this little dense shader brush and just pack that on like the lower lash line up until about the half point. And then I go in with a flat definer brush and take that rich chocolatey brown shade just to really define the lash line. So I press that into the lashes, and I'm also pressing that into my upper lash line just so I have somewhere to blend my false lashes into. And this just really gives you a lot more definition to the lash line and makes it look thicker as well, just because I'm not going in with any liquid liner or wing liner today. And just make sure everything is nicely blended on the lower lash line. And then I'm going in with the MAC Eye Kohl in the shade Costa Riche, and it's a gorgeous warm toned brown. It's my all-time favorite to put in the lower waterline. And then I go back in with my brush just to make sure everything is nicely blended. And then for my brow bone highlight, I'm going in with this white shade and the cream shade and mixing them together and just popping that on my brow bone. And this honestly is my favorite part. I feel like this brings the whole look together because it's almost like an eraser. If you took your transition color up too high, this allows you to clean it up. So brow bone highlight is always important to me. And then I go back in with a fluffy brush just to make sure it's nicely blended. And now I'm taking this pressed pigment by Morphe. This is in the shade Mimosa Sundae, and it's a gorgeous like icy champagne color, and I'm using this for my tear duct highlight. I absolutely love this. I feel like it just really opens up the eyes, and I'm using this on a Morphe pencil brush, and I wet my brush as well just to make it a lot more pigmented, and it's just going to catch the light so beautifully. And then I'm going in with my mascara. This is my Tarte's Lash Paint Mascara, popping that onto the bottom lashes. And I also forgot to show you guys, I used the House of Lashes Iconic Light Falsies, and then I'm just blending them in with my natural lashes with a little bit of mascara. I try to keep it at the base of the lashes, that way you don't mess up your falsies. And I already did my foundation and concealer off camera, and then I'm going in with my Makeup Forever Pressed HD Translucent Powder, and I just had to give this little guy a mention because I absolutely love this. If you guys have oily skin, this little guy will be like your best friend. It helps to keep you matte throughout the day, and then it just makes your pores look like invisible. So I absolutely love that powder. And then I'm going in with my Benefit Hoola Bronzer, and of course just bronzing up my cheekbones, and I absolutely love this big fluffy Morphe brush to do this. And then of course taking that around the temples and forehead area as well. I like to take that on my chin and jawline and just make sure everything is nicely balanced. And then I like to take a little bit of that just underneath my bottom lip just to help give you more of like a pouty effect. And then I take a little bit to the sides of my nose as well. I make this funny face and basically try and get that right on the side of my bridge of my nose, and then I'll do the tip of my nose as well, and just kind of like the tip of my nose. And then I like to go back in with a little bit of translucent powder just to blend out that nose contour to make sure it's not too harsh. And then I'm going into the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I'm taking these cool tone shades here on the end and mixing them, and I'm going in with a fan brush just to do a little bit of contouring today. So I basically take that to the hollows of my cheekbones and keep that more towards the hairline. I don't come as far down as I did with my bronzer. And then same thing, I'm just putting that a little bit around the hairline and chin. And then for highlight today, I'm going in with the Iconic London Illuminator Drops. These are, oh my gosh, like I don't even know what to say about these. They are insane. So I take a little bit on my hand and then I dip my beauty blender in it and I just pop it on wherever I want my highlight, and it does not mess up your makeup underneath. That's what I absolutely love about this, and it gives you the most gorgeous glow. I've used some other liquid illuminators and they just mess up your foundation underneath. So I can even use this over powders. I know technically you're not supposed to use a liquid over a powder, but this works. And then I'm going back in with that Mimosa Sunday Pressed Pigment by Morphe, and I decided to take a little bit of that just to the high points of my cheekbones for an extra pop, and it just looked stunning. Like, I know it's an eyeshadow, but hey, who says you can't use it for a highlight? I just thought it looked so gorgeous. This combination of highlight was poppin'. So just taking that to my usual places on my face, you know, bridge of the nose, tip of the nose, and then I'm going back into, going into the Becca and Jaclyn Hill face palette, and I'm mixing those two blushes together. I forget what they're called. I think one's Amaretto, and I don't remember what the other one is, but I like to mix those to get a nice peachy bronze color. And then I go kind of ham with my blush, and then I like to go back in with a stippling brush just to soften it out and make sure everything is nicely blended. Make sure like my bronzer, my blush, and my highlight is all blended, and it just gives you like a soft, almost like airbrushed effect. And then for lip color, I'm going in with the ColourPop and Kathleen collab. This is the Aquarius 2 Ultra Matte Lip, and I think it's just such a beautiful color. Kathleen did an amazing job when she created this. It's a gorgeous nude. It kind of has like a hint of pink, a hint of brown, but it's, you know, it's not too pink, not too brown, not too peachy. It's like a perfect nude. And then I'm going in with the, this lip liner is, I believe, by Marc Jacobs, and I forget the color, but I'll list it down below. It's just like a nice nude lip liner. And this is the look if you wanted to keep your lips matte, but I decided to go in and add a gloss. So I'm adding the ColourPop and Kathleen Lights Aquarius Glossy Lip on top, and I just thought it tied the whole look together. I absolutely love this look. I think it's so fresh and perfect for spring and summer, especially if you want to look glamorous. You can't go wrong with a bronzed eye and a glossy lip. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching as always. Don't forget to subscribe on your way out. Give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!